Mr. Amir. How are you doing?
Hello, Dr. Rana. Thank you so much for having me today. It's my pleasure to be on your spotlight.
The pleasure is all mine, and I've been looking forward to this recording and this session for quite some time.
Likewise.
I've been, thank you. As an introduction for anybody who is listening and viewing this spotlight, Mr. Amir Atef is an acting principal at Taaleem. And for me, I've known him, he's been on my radar for the past year and something since last conference with edubridges. And I've been following your work and your posts and your sessions. And I'm really impressed and really impressed by your passion, commitment, and focus on leadership towards the teacher, and particularly teacher empowerment. So let's start with introducing yourself the way Amir sees Amir. So who's Amir?
Thank you so much, Dr. Rana, for having me again here. It's such an honor, even since last year, since the
The
conference.
honor is mine.
And I would introduce myself as someone who is passionate for teaching and learning and changing people's lives through education. I believe that education has a superpower, or it is actually a superpower. And I'm an educator to the core, from the heart, from the bottom of my heart. And this is how I see myself, regardless of what position I'm in, whether it's a teacher, it's a vice principal, or a principal. I think we got into this profession for a higher purpose, driven by great passion to have an impact on people's lives. So yeah, this is me, and thank you so much again for having me here.
Not at all. The pleasure is all mine, Amir. And please, Rana, if you don't mind. The question that I would like to pose is, going back through memory lane, what got you into education?
All right. I inherited the profession, I would say.
Oh,
I come from a family of educators as well,
nice.
like ancestors also. So it's just, I don't know, it runs in the family by genes. I don't know, but for a moment I had some kind of resistance towards the idea. So I decided not to be a teacher, but then it all flipped and I wanted to be a teacher, and I became a teacher. And I loved teaching, and I've been in the profession more than like 23 years now.
Nice. And throughout it all, your teaching focus was in which discipline when you started?
It was an English major.
Nice.
So I taught a variety of English courses, from ESL to literature, to so many courses related to English as a major.
Very nice. And throughout this journey, you moved from teaching all the way to leadership.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a tough decision also, to be honest.
Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, that was a tough decision because due to my great passion for teaching and learning and being with my students and seeing the impact and feeling the change and transformation they go through, and the gratitude I feel when they come back to me after years saying, thank you so much, you changed our lives, or you did something for us. So stepping into the leadership ladder was not an easy decision, because I felt that I would lose this direct contact with the students. I would lose that impact. But then upon reviewing that, I found out, and actually when I took the positions in leadership, I started to see things differently, that the impact is on a larger scale.
Yes.
From only the classroom. So in the classroom as a teacher, you would have an impact only on your students, the batch that you teach. But if you have a leadership role or position, your impact can go across the school, or many schools also, in case you are overseeing that. So I decided to pursue that no matter what, with the same passion. And following that led me to where I am now. And I'm still enjoying every single moment I spend in schools among educators and students.
I like that you mentioned upon reflection, it became clear and evident that the impact will be larger. And as somebody who's been in the teaching role myself, moving to leadership, I fully agree with you regarding that transition and do I really want to? And then moving there, what from the teaching role that you had and the skills and the dispositions you had as a teacher, you found helpful for you as a leader?
There's so many. Actually, I believe that every teacher is a leader, right? When you teach, you lead the class, you lead the students.
Exactly.
So through that, you exhibit and use a lot of skills, starting from the communication skills to critical thinking, to problem solving, to creativity, because you need to do something creative for the students every day. You want to have an impact. It's like the caring part also is there. Like a leader cares about his or her staff. The same thing for the teacher. You try to nurture them, provide them with opportunities to learn and grow. So the teacher and the leader are alike when it comes to the impact and leadership skills. Yeah.
It's so true, and I found that many of the skills we gain through managing the class and leading the class and supporting those students to get to their best potential apply when you're working on that leadership position. As a teacher and as a leader, what are the main challenges that you've seen being most influential? Let me not say influential. What are the toughest challenges teachers face when they want to actually make an impact in the classroom? We all know that, yes, educators come into the profession, I'm going to change everybody's life. I'm going to make them all happy. And then reality hits and you face challenges. So what are the biggest challenges you've noticed during your journey?
See, to be honest, teaching itself is a very challenging job. So we take that challenge from day one, from the first step, from the decision you make to join the profession. And they call it the most demanding, the least rewarding profession, right? So people actually get into this profession and expecting no money because they know already we're not like engineers, we're not like doctors, right? We don't make that much money, to be honest, right? But because of the passion, they make up for that, right? All right. Exactly. They disregard the financial part, at least in the first few years. So the challenges, one of the challenges that new teachers may face is maybe the lack of experience, all right? Dealing with so many different personalities in the same class at the same moment. And that could be a challenge in itself. I mean, if you have only 2 or 3 people and you're talking to, and everyone understands things differently, or they have different point of view, that's a challenge. So imagine a class with a group of children, be 25 or 30. That's a big one. That's a really big one. And then as a teacher, you are supposed to, and you are assigned the responsibility to teach them, make sure they learn, make sure they understand, make sure they apply, make sure they produce, make sure they exhibit signs of success,
they fly,
make sure that they are happy, and make sure that their parents are happy, and make sure that the school management is also happy. It's a big thing. No one understands the job this way, but actually this is the way it is, right? Another thing could be also the resistance with some children, because some students don't want to learn, and let's face it, the school might not be the perfect place for everyone, and not everyone would be 100% interested to learn every day with the same passion from the beginning till the end of the day. So again, you as a teacher, you're dealing with mood swings, you're dealing with a lot of dispositions, a lot of backgrounds, a lot of humans, all right? And this is very, very, very tricky, dealing with humans on daily basis, with regard to their background, how they woke up in the morning, how willing they are to accept what you say, how passionate they are to learn and to improve. So many things, so many things. Like it makes the job difficult, and this shows how great teachers are and how much of an impact they have in our lives.
Well, I always, it's very interesting because we never wanted it that way. And however, I always believe that there's a silver lining with every cloud. And the COVID in particular, the silver lining was that parents and individuals outside the educational sector noticed how important the work that teachers are doing. But unfortunately, they
It's true.
forgot soon after. Once
People
the kids
tend to
went
forget.
yes.
This is the human nature. They tend to forget.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So thinking of the teacher, because I hear you. You said it so clearly how tough as a role it is. It is challenging day in, day out, and that's why I don't believe it will ever be offloaded to an AI. The teacher is gonna be central for us throughout. The role might change, but they are there. So, considering we are celebrating teachers and considering our interest in making their life as, I'm not gonna say easy, but as like supporting them, empowering them to actually achieve all those objectives of pleasing everyone. Can we talk about like tangible, actionable things that leaders in schools can do? Because what happens on many occasions, you hear the issues with regards, okay, financially I can't do much. There are constraints. When I talk about the schedule during the day, the commitment, I can't change. I can't give them the students they would like to teach. These are the students that they are teaching. But what can leaders do to empower teachers within the constraints that are generally there on the ground?
Yeah. See, as leaders, the first responsibility of a leader is to set the climate, the school culture that is very positive, welcoming, inclusive, and conducive to learning. And here, by learning, I mean the learning of the students as well as the teachers themselves. Teachers have to, in that culture, have to feel safe, that they can make mistakes, because through mistakes, people get to learn. Teachers have to feel that they have a voice and they are heard, all right? And they also share in the decision-making process to some extent. If we set the culture from the very beginning, this is one way we can make their lives easier. Because if they have the daily tasks, the heavy responsibilities that they have to do every day, in addition to a very bad work environment, that would be a nightmare, a living hell. So this is one thing that all leaders should do, right? In addition to that, we can support teachers in terms of flexible schedules, maybe trying to support in terms of challenging behavior. We can also interfere, support with them, ask for the parent support also in some cases, to make sure the teacher has to feel that he or she is protected, looked after, all right? We can also do well-being sessions, staff morale, staff celebrations. All of these things, they help to make the teachers feel that they are cared for, respected, and they matter. Teachers really matter.
Amazing. It's very interesting when you were talking about making the teachers feel safe, to make mistakes, welcome, voices heard. This is everything that teachers are asked also to do with their students.
Exactly.
Because realistically speaking, we are
Exactly.
again working with humans. So when it comes to having their voices heard, and you said they should be part of the decision making as much as possible, to some extent, you said. So let's say I'm going to take a concrete example that many leaders and many teachers are at the present time facing. It's not with the aim of talking about the hype. I want to talk about the leadership part behind the AI. So at the present time, AI is booming. There's so much happening out there. Teachers are worried. They don't feel safe with AI. Teachers feel uncomfortable. Teachers feel like there are challenges coming from all different angles. And we know that there needs to be some policies, we need to have some guidance and whatnot. So as a leader, if a principal or an assistant principal now is listening to us and struggling with their own teachers, how to make them feel comfortable, how to make them feel safe, how to support them in working with AI, what are some of the advice with regards to activities that they can do that you might offer them or give them?
You see, the long discussions about AI, they all tend to end with the same conclusion, that AI is not able to replace the human factor, right?
Exactly.
The human teacher. And let's face it, if you go back a little bit in history, I mean, AI could be just like any other trend or invention, right?
Totally.
Teachers used to teach before the advent of the internet.
Exactly.
And they used to teach before smart boards, and they used to teach before all the online technologies and stuff like that. And still, they were using them, right? So it's a tool that should be regarded as a tool and should be
Exactly.
used as a tool, promoted as a tool, and everybody should be skillful in using that. So there's a famous saying that says AI will not replace teachers, but teachers who know AI will replace other teachers who don't
Exactly.
know AI. So it is something that they should be equipped with, and they should work really hard and fast, all right, to be up to date with the tools. Right. So my
Exactly.
advice to any teacher is to check the trendiest tools. They have a lot of social media groups, a lot of
Yes.
recommendations from here and there, a lot of videos on Instagram and YouTube. Just once you see an educator or a teacher recommending a tool, try it for yourself. See how good it is, how effective it is, how far you can use it, how can you utilize it in your own context. And then you can decide whether to have it or not, right? If you decide to use it, that's good for you because it's a good practice and it will have an impact, hopefully. If not, at least you are AI literate, all right? So you have the knowledge, at least, that you can maybe pass to someone else. The whole thing here, or the main idea, is that everybody should be aware of what's going on,
Exactly.
should be selective on what to use, because we have 100 tools, right? You cannot be knowledgeable. All right, you're going to be an expert in all these tools, but you can narrow down the list to what will serve you best, what will be good for your contextualized classroom, all right, or what is
Yes.
good for your students. As leaders, all right, we need to make sure that we are also providing, number one, enough reassurance that AI tools are only tools, and we need to learn together. So we are joining you guys in that training to understand how we can implement this AI tool, for example. And then we attend the training, or we even provide the training, or we get someone who's an expert in that tool to show us, walk us through the tool step by step until
Yeah.
we have this awareness and this AI literacy spread in our school. Because eventually, what we're looking for is the impact. So we want an
Exactly.
impact on students' progress or their attainment, whether we want to increase or enrich their knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
sharpen their skills, all right, or shape their characters. Okay,
Yes.
so this is what we do every day, right? It's either
Mm-hmm.
the knowledge or the skills or the character.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that teachers are getting the training and they are up to date with all the AI tools so that they can navigate that themselves. And once you do it for them, right, maybe one or two tools, one or two trainings,
Yes.
they know and they should know that this is on their own responsibility now to
Yeah.
start their own journey, to know more tools, to try more tools, and to adopt certain tools and use them in their classrooms.
Thank you, Amir. This is very true. And I went back memory lane myself, all the way back to when I was teaching, not even 2000, sorry, 1996 when I was
6, yeah.
teaching. And it was the first time where we were transitioning from handwriting the tests on the stencils.
Yeah.
For anybody who's listening, I
Mhm.
always remember the smell of
The old printing, yeah.
the old printing. And it was the first time that we were moving to typing. There was a transition where the school provided us with typing services by the secretary. But then within 2 years, once computers were sort of there, we had to do that. And that was a skill that we had to gain. Many people nagging or getting annoyed at it, but it is a skill that we gained and we
Yeah.
moved on. Life continued. One thing that you mentioned, which is extremely important, is you as leaders joining and learning with them. Because I've seen it in action. The schools that end up succeeding most in benefiting and reaping the benefit out of any training are those where the leaders are there with their teachers. Why do you think that's the case?
Because this is the essence of this profession, right? It's the essence that we are all lifelong learners, right? And this applies to students, this applies to teachers, and applies to leaders. As simple as that. No one can grow without learning.
Okay.
Right?
And
no one can grow. As a student, you cannot grow. All right? As a teacher, you cannot grow. And as a leader, you cannot grow.
there is something though, however, at the same time, there are some, like, okay, AI is changing all the time, technology is changing all the time. However, there are some trainings that are sort of the classics. You know, something about cooperative learning, let's say, or something about student-centered learning or whatnot. Some leaders might say, I know this, I'm not teaching, I don't have to attend. They are teaching, I'll attend my own professional development for leadership skills. What do you think? Is there still value in
There is value in everything.
attending?
There is
Okay.
value in everything, right? A leader should be an expert. And there's an old saying that we all used to know from before. It's not good to know everything about something, but it's good to know something about everything.
Exactly.
So this applies to the different aspects of the teaching and learning. So the leader, maybe his focus would be maybe on the curriculum, but again, he has to know a lot about safeguarding. He has to know a lot about finance. He has to know a lot about the school operations, right? About transportation, about communication, about the local authorities, regulation, so many things, even if the background is mainly about the curriculum. So again, we are actually expecting teachers to know a lot of things about different skills, about different techniques and strategies. So the leader should be aware of these things, right? Because it's not right if we are bombarding the teachers with so many things to learn about, while we don't know about it because we don't have to. No, we have to, because again, also as a leader, you are part of the quality assurance. So you have to maybe visit one class to see
Exactly.
how this technique is working, how this math concept is being taught, how is that English lesson is helping students to learn about innovation and creativity. So it's like a very, very multifaceted thing.
Yes,
Wide range of skills
exactly.
should be there. So a leader should not miss a single opportunity to learn anything about any aspect.
Um, you said it with the quality assurance, like you have to be conversant with all these
Yeah,
topics, even
of
if there
course.
is the coordinator who is working on certain aspects, still as a
Exactly,
leader,
exactly, exactly. I
you
will not
have,
be as expert as that
no,
person is,
mhm,
but I have to know the minimum that would make me understand what is going on, or whether this is right or wrong, or what needs to be improved and addressed.
exactly.
All right? Yeah.
Exactly. And I also find it that by attending, being there, you're being a role model. You are you are coming across as one of the team. You are building that culture, which, going back to what you said at the beginning, by the way, I've just noticed that I've changed 10 million pens throughout because I'm highlighting what I want to note.
Of course.
Uh, so the thing is, uh, you will be setting a more positive culture as a leader when you're there with your team members uh, during those learning experiences for them. And I've we've heard that, I think many of us, if we are on the teaching side, many of us have complained about the leaders not being there when we are stuck
Yeah.
in, because that's how many feel that they're stuck in this professional
Exactly. I mean, it's
development.
it's also good if you have one of the teachers coming to ask you about something like, how would I do that? And it's not good if you don't know the answer, right? Like, at least you should give something of your knowledge. Maybe you need to do more research. Maybe you need to
Exactly.
ask someone. Yeah, but at least you need to show that you still know something that can be of
Exactly.
value. And sometimes I don't feel anything bad when I have something I need to ask about, or I need to inquire more or to learn more. I ask that expert in that field, or that particular person, right? Even if it's one of my teachers, okay, I tell him or her, how did you do that? Can you please walk me through the process again?
Exactly.
I need to understand. Maybe I would correct a misconception. Maybe I will do something in a better way because he or she did it better than me. All right. And then I take that benefit and I keep it with me because I know that one day, one teacher will come to ask, and then I will be ready with an answer.
Wonderful. Wonderful. If you are to look back, how many years have you been within the leadership position? Like, which year did you switch to that admin
Let's say
leadership
six
role?
years now, almost 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
So, looking back at that day when you actually made that transition, like fresh from the classroom to the, what was your biggest fear?
The fear maybe was that I will not have the same impact I had as a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
because as a teacher you can actually get the impact instantly, right?
You see it.
On
Mm-hmm.
the spot. It's like a stage actor who gets
Mm-hmm.
the success and a round of applause on the spot, right? As a teacher, you can get that when you see this aha moment in the
Mm-hmm.
eyes of your students, or when they come with eyes and faces full of gratitude. All right, you can
Mm-hmm.
s- you can definitely wholeheartedly say that, yes, I've made an impact. So that was my fear when I transitioned into leadership. But then after some time, I get to know, no, there is also an impact, because you have the same passion and you're serving the same purpose, right? And I actually call them the 5 Ps.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is the passion. The
Mm-hmm.
second one is the purpose. The
Okay.
third one is the people. And then you have the process, and then
Mm-hmm.
the product at the end.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
It's spot on.
Thank you.
If you are to give Amir 6 years ago some advice with regards to the actual day-to-day tasks or processes or the daily part of the job, what would that be for anybody who's transitioning at the present time?
Make sure you have a very good pattern recognition to understand any situation or any context that you are likely to face or to be part of. This will help you to understand quickly and then equip yourself with the right strategy to use, because every workplace is different, every context is different. So you just need to understand how it is working and the pattern there. I would give also the advice that being friendly yet firm is the best strategy with students as a teacher and with staff as a leader. All right. And you have to be empathetic, understanding what people go through, that sometimes it's not the best day for this person, and you have to understand and cope with that and act accordingly. And sometimes you have to step up and take somebody's role who's not there or who's not able to do it. This is the responsibility of leaders, definitely.
Three very important pieces of advice. If you were to change something in the role of the leader, if there is something that you would like, if there's something you can throw out and say, this within the current context of what school systems are all about, if you are to throw one thing out, what would that be and why?
Sometimes it's the routine that you have to go through, like when you apply for something and then wait for certain approvals from some authorities, or like sometimes you really feel like you have to do it and it's fast and it should be easy and it shouldn't be that complicated. But then you find that things are being complicated for no reason. Like you're, for example, applying for like a certain trip, let's say, to a certain destination, and then you know that your kids need that trip. They've never been there and they want to go there. They're so happy and they will be learning a lot. But then you find a lot of complications to get approval for that, because you have to go through a lot of approvals. We definitely understand the safeguarding procedures and policies, but sometimes you see if things just go smoother or faster, it would be definitely greater.
It's interesting you're saying this, because it's so true and so important on so many different levels. Even changes within the curriculum. If you look at it, like, I understand the safeguarding with trips and whatnot, but when it comes to the curriculum, and I've seen this as a challenge at the school level and the university level, changing something takes so long and is so bureaucratic, unfortunately, to the point by the time you get the approval to change it, you need to change what you have changed, because things have moved on. Especially at the present time with all the technology that's happening. Is there any way for us to provide teachers with some flexibility within the scope of this constructed terrain, if we can say? What type of flexibility are you as a leader willing to offer teachers?
Sometimes it's with the schedule, like the load, the heavy load. Sometimes you can arrange, it's a simple thing, you can arrange the timetable or the school schedule just in a way that would not exhaust the teacher physically and mentally. As simple as that. Maybe some flexible hours, like if you finish your work early, you can be dismissed. And because we know that, especially for teachers, they will have to work at home. I mean, let's face it, right? It's an ongoing process that never stops. So we should not maybe like limit them to certain school hours. Like they should spend maybe 2-3 hours. And some schools, they do spend like 2 hours, up to 2 hours after students are dismissed. I mean, this is too much, because already I know that teacher will have to go back home and they will have piles of things to do,
Piles.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
piles, like literally with the, in terms of marking and feedback, in terms of planning, lesson planning, in terms of the marks entry sometimes. I mean, we have work at home. You can never just work during school hours. So maybe some flexibility with that would definitely help as well.
Which relates to the empathy that you noted
Exactly,
earlier.
exactly,
You
exactly.
know,
And this is why it's important that leaders should be, in the first place, coming from teachers, because they know what teachers go through. They understand the workload, they understand the timings, they understand the constraints, the pressure, so many things.
yes, exactly. They should have walked in those shoes to understand uh, how to deal with things. If you had the opportunity to add something, to give something that is not available at the present time, what would it be?
To whom?
Let's start with teachers and then we'll go to leaders. Okay?
Teachers, I would, I'm not sure if there's anything not available, but I would just advise them
Mm-hmm.
to never stop learning
Mm-hmm.
and to keep their passion till the last moment,
Mm-hmm.
because this is what drives us in this world. I would also advise them, if they don't have the passion for this profession, to leave it immediately and try to seek their own passion somewhere else, in a different field, a different profession, where they can be passionate and impactful. Because
Exactly.
this profession and these kids, like, it's a big responsibility. We have to have the passion and to serve that purpose. If not, then you should not be there. And it's not bad. Just, you're not in the right place. Find your
Yeah.
right place and be the best there.
Yes. And fly.
Yeah, exactly. And for leaders, I would also give some advice. I know all leaders are great simply because they're leaders, so they've been through a lot in
Yeah.
their career. All right.
Yeah.
And I would just make sure that they show some empathy all the time. They support their teams all the time, and they never stop learning also, and try to give back from what you have. So whatever something you have most, try to give more of that. If you have more knowledge about something, try to offer that to others. If you have a certain skill that you are so good at, try to offer from that
What's
skill.
what's the skill? I like you mentioning the skill. What's the skill or the training that you had throughout your career that
I had so
has
many
been
so
that has
so so many
yeah,
opportunities. Like, I go for self-study, like online courses. I have some
okay,
courses from Harvard online. I got some training from ADIC, for example. That was a program called
hmm,
uh, Growing Great Leaders.
okay,
Uh, I had my master's degree also as one of the trainings. I like
definitely
self-paced for quite some time. Currently, I'm doing my NPQH also.
nice.
That also works. So every now and then I find a very interesting course, even if it's like for like 2-3 hour session. I would just
Yes,
take the opportunity to go through it, to navigate it, and then uh, uh, get the insights of that.
if there is from all of those, which was the one that had the most impact on you and why? Which one do you carry most dear to
I
your
think I
heart?
think the one offered by ADIC, I think it was really, really good. Yeah, I still remember the components of the course we covered, the strategic planning,
Hmm.
how to deal with stuff, the assets, the budgeting, these things, they were so helpful.
It's interesting you're saying that because I found that even for me, when I was teaching, then became a coordinator at the school level and at the university, moving from a faculty to a dean, those business component pieces
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
don't bring with us from our own background as teachers, those were the most helpful for me to navigate
definitely, definitely.
the
See,
process.
everything helps. At a
Exactly.
certain time, everything helps, right? Whether
Exactly.
it's a French language course, whether
Yeah.
it's a it's a workshop, like hands-on workshop that you had one day, whether
Yeah,
it's a martial art training that
yeah.
you had for like a couple of
Nice.
weeks. Everything comes in handy one day.
And it's an investment in yourself. So
Yeah,
definitely true. Definitely
exactly,
true.
exactly. And it shapes how rich of a character you are.
And interestingly, it allows you to be able to talk with your different team members, like
Definitely.
from different perspectives.
From different
Sometimes,
backgrounds, you can still be there, and then people say, "Excuse me, what was your major? I mean, how do you know about that thing? How did you?" It's 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 part of who I am, right? I have to read and explore and
yeah,
try, all right, every single thing that I come across.
yeah, talking with your team members about soccer or football sometimes is a great opening and connection with them.
Exactly.
So yeah, agreed. So Amir, it's amazing the insights and the breadth of your experience, and
Thank you.
there's no end to what we can talk about. But I'm aware of the time, and I don't want to keep you for long. But that being said, what's something that you wanted me to ask, or you would have wanted me to ask about, and I didn't?
Maybe about achievement. I don't know.
Go for
I
it.
mean
Go for
that.
it. Go for it.
You see, to be honest,
Yes. Yeah.
the sky is the limit. I would
Yeah.
definitely say. But we all have some proud moments in our
Yes.
careers, right?
Yes.
And I'm so happy, and I'm so proud to be in this country where people get appreciated for their hard work, right? So
Exactly.
one of the proud moments I had was when uh, I featured as teacher of Dubai on KHDA. That was like,
Awesome.
yeah, like, and it came immediately after I decided to move from teaching to leadership. So
Oh my
it was
God.
like a very apt and an aptly given reward for a career
Nice.
of teaching, to be
Very
featuring
nice.
as a teacher of Dubai, and that was a moment actually that I would never forget. As like God is sending me a message that you've done great as a
Good.
teacher.
Great.
Now it's time to move, and people appreciate what you've been doing for like 15 or 16 years. That's enough. Move on to the next
To something else.
chapter. So yeah, that is one moment definitely I'm proud of, and I still remember.
That's that's so nice. It's amazing. And you know what? Going back to the beginning, where you mentioned that part of the leadership has to focus on making teachers, helping them feel the
Mm.
trust towards
Yeah, yeah,
towards them, providing them with the opportunities to celebrate their achievements and whatnot, and making them feel that their voices are heard. I guess this is what
yes,
such initiatives are really very helpful, because you said it. It's not about the money. It's it's not about the
it's
money
not,
that
it's
gets
not,
us into
it's
this
not.
profession,
Yeah.
but that appreciation is extremely important. What else?
No, that's it. I cannot think of any more. I think you covered everything, Doctor. So I'm so grateful again to this opportunity, and all the
um,
the the insights and insightful questions, and very understanding nature of yours, and your flexibility also. Thank you so much for that.
Not at all. Thank you, Amir, for actually your willingness to share your journey, your knowledge, and I'm sure that your team members are lucky to have you there.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
To be honest, in the first time you contacted me, and then you said maybe you would share your insights and journey and achievement,
yeah,
and then I said, "Are you sure you're talking to me? Because I don't think I have any achievement. I don't think I have any journey yet. Maybe we don't see ourselves as such, but I really feel it's still early for me to do something, and hopefully one day I would be grateful and proud of myself, but still that day I think is still too far, and I still have a lot, like a long way of hard work and passion and serving that purpose until I reach that moment. And who knows, maybe I may not reach it, but the journey to me is enough.
Amir, you said something about the achievement for the award. It was a good message that you've done great. What I can definitely tell you that your impact is sensed, your impact is there, and that applies to each and every passionate leader. And sometimes I'm sure your team members don't have, like, they might not come and tell you all the time, similar to what happens with us when we're teaching. Our students don't come and tell us all the time.
No, not
but
everyone.
I'm positive you've had those situations where a glow in one of your team members' eyes gave you the indication that the impact is there.
Hopefully,
so
fingers
don't
crossed,
sell yourself short. On the contrary, I believe that the journey and the success and the impact is within the journey itself. So thanks.
It is. And also I think it's not only about the destination, not only about the journey, not even about the journey, but it's about who you become throughout that journey.
Exactly.
This is the real value here. This is the real value.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing your insights. And
thank you so much, Dr. Rana. And
looking
it's been a
forward
pleasure.
to future.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Same to you. Bye.